And nobody knows how hard it was every day to get out of bed. I couldn't eat any of the food there. I was so sick.
Bye, Liz. This is why she dates people like Ed, because she's a horrible person. Liz.
As we jump back into the single life, we are right in the middle of Liz and Sophie's fight. Quick reminder, Sophie is mad that Liz said something to Pedro that she thinks drove him to ghost her, when this is all that Liz said.
She's still killing.
But when they start to argue, Liz, who was drinking when she talked to Pedro, doesn't really remember exactly what she said. So she apologizes. And then keeps apologizing.
Sophie, I just felt for your pain and everything. I'm sorry. You feel for Pedro's pain.
But Sophie is having none of it. She's already heated, and the sorries don't seem to matter.
You're like, she's not ready. You should be careful. You shouldn't trust her. Why would you? I would never in my life. I would never go to Ria and say, don't trust it. I would never. As a woman, I would never.
This was very annoying to watch, mostly because Sophie doesn't even try to get clarification from Liz of what she said.
She did go behind my back and warn the guy I'm talking to not take a chance on me and I'm toxic or a red flag, whatever.
No one said that. If this is really your friend, why not hear her out? Accept the sorry that you didn't even deserve? Julia is absolutely no help either.
I'm not coming in here to have drama, to fight, for doing anything. I can be dead in 2 years. You think I want to come here realistically and have this? No.
She just walks away after Liz says that. Bitch. Liz storms off and then Sophie yells, bye.
Home, Liz.
I never even said that to Pedro. Pedro told me she's distant.
It makes Sophie look like a total asshole. This woman has cancer, and you just yelled at her for something she didn't do, even when she still tried to apologize. Then you see Sophie look at her phone and then try to come back and yell at Liz again.
Bye, Liz. Go home. Bye. Adios.
On Between the Sheets, they give more context as to why this fight escalated so much. And it still makes Sophie look bad, but it does explain some things. In Sophie's interview, she says that she was wrong for how she handled it, but she's doubling down saying she thinks that Liz is a horrible person because of a photo she was sent.
Finally texts me and I'm like, oh, Pedro texts me. It's a picture of me sat at the bar with Dr. Guy.
So if you're like me, you're like, what photo? They didn't talk about a photo at all during the episode. Apparently, when Sophie was talking to this Dr. Guy in the previous episode, someone had taken a picture of them together and then sent it to Sophie. Sophie again, though, instead of just asking Liz if she took the picture, mentioning the picture at all, she just instantly thinks that Liz took the picture and sent it to Pedro.
And Pedro is now really mad at me. Pedro's going off on me. Liz is on her phone a lot. She's on her phone. Liz sent this picture to Pedro because there's no one else there. How does Pedro have this?
What they completely left out of that scene where she's at the bar with the doctor is that Pedro was at the same bar, just not in that exact same area.
So you saw it in person, you took the photo.
Yeah.
It is complete coincidence and accidental
that
you saw that.
Yeah, that was so accidental.
Yeah, totally accidental. Production didn't send Pedro to the same bar to catch that, no.
Where do you go, Sophie? Why is she crying? Because I closed her out?
Sophie is obviously drunk, so getting that photo does explain why she says this.
The most snakiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Bye, Liz. This is why she dates people like Ed, because she's a horrible person.
I don't like Sophie, but I think explaining that she was hammered and got a photo texted to her was necessary information. So there's this part after we saw them fight at the table where Sophie takes out her phone, looks at it, and then walks back over to Liz and yells more. That was when she got the photo. And then she says that Liz was a horrible person in the car. Just to clarify though, the fight before that at the table was still about what Liz said, not the photo. Which means that Sophie let a guy that she didn't want a serious relationship with ruin the trip for Liz.
Hard on me right now. I really came here wanting nothing but the best for all of us.
Liz.
This woman is struggling. She needs friends more than anything right now. And it would be one thing if she did do something horrible, but she didn't. It's just assumed. And Julia and Sophie don't seem to have any empathy towards Liz, even though She's sick and has explained that. They're just playing tennis the next day. I hoped sobering up would make Sophie realize that she was in the wrong and maybe like think about what happened the night before. Sophie received a picture of her and the doctor at the bar that pissed off Pedro, and she just assumed it's Liz. Why would your friend that you brought on a girls' trip be trying to sabotage you with Pedro? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. So I could see her, sobered up the next day saying, yeah, I was heated. Liz did try to apologize. I should apologize. But she still somehow makes herself a victim in this.
It wasn't like, I'm sorry. It was like, I said I'm sorry. Feels like she just completely invalidated my feelings.
Icing out Liz, who has no one else there. It's just the three of them. She's all buddy up with Julia. So now, of course, Liz is upset and getting closer to Via.
I don't share with a lot of people, like, how I'm, like, sick right now.
No one wants Liz to run into the arms of another guy she just met, but he's the only support she's getting on this trip. Liz even had to do a lot of prep to even come on this trip.
We're talking about a month and a half of adjusting medications and everything for me to safely have fun on this vacation.
So she opens up to Via about her cancer and how she had a miscarriage, and that's how she found out about it. They show Julia watching this scene between the sheets. She had told Sophie during tennis that she was pregnant. And we know from other seasons that she really struggled with fertility and miscarriage. So I really thought that we would see more empathy from Julia about this. I don't know, maybe some more sympathy with Liz's situation in general. I would think she'd relate to Liz more because of that. But no, she's pretty quiet during these interviews. Her loyalty obviously lies with Sophie, whose biggest problem is that she isn't getting enough attention from a guy. Oh, Julia, I hope Betty gives you hell. Even small Ed has some sympathy for Liz. It's probably performative, but it's something.
They later found out about the cancer, but that dirtbag Jason wouldn't even take care of her. And then he left her.
Liz weaned off medication to try to have fun in the Dominican Republic.
And nobody knows how hard it was every day to get out of bed. I couldn't eat any of the food there. I was so sick.
And gets stressed out by this whole Sophie situation, which is so dumb. I really hope that Sophie gets called out on the tell-all for this. If anything, I think Kim will call her out. She is friends with Liz. And I do think that this time there is an actual chance that the host will call her out, because we officially have a new host of the Single Life Tell-All.
I'm on the set of 90 Day The Single Life Tell-All. And where should I sit? How about this? In the host chair. Because why? I'm hosting the tell-all. And I'm gonna go there. Believe me, I will. Every question you're screaming at the TV, I'm gonna ask it. Why? Because I'm screaming it too. It's Ross Matthews and I'm hosting the 90 Day Single Life Tell-All. You ready? I'm glad I wore a diaper.
No, Sean, thank God. I'm so tired of the whole nothing being addressed, no one getting called out. Hopefully this host will actually dive deep into questions we have. That's exciting. So let me know what you think of this Liz and Sophie situation. The more we know about the trip, the worse I feel for Liz. I will say I have in the past lacked empathy for Liz, but this is mostly to do with her jumping from toxic relationship to the next toxic relationship. Also, I'm a little sensitive that she has a daughter and involves her in these things, like reality TV and Ed. Even just watching her with Via, I just know she's gonna get so serious with him so fast. So final thoughts, I have empathy for Liz's health. I hope she's okay. It is frustrating to watch this dynamic with Sophie and Julia, because I think if they weren't mean girls to her for no reason, that Liz wouldn't have trauma bonded with this Via guy so fast. She's in a fragile state, she needs support, and now is only getting it from a guy she's known for 4 days. That's a recipe for another toxic relationship, and Sophie and Julia better get called out on the tell-all. At least Sophie. At least. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And also, this is my QR code to my Snapchat. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!